Hello, children. Nowadays, we are enjoying the stories of Vikram and Betaal. The name of today's story is The Delicate Queens. During the time of King Debmalya, who ruled Purushpur, the people of the city praised their king for his bravery and wisdom. But his three queens were the ones they talked about the most. The gentle king loved all three of his wives very much. But there was something strange about those women. One day, when King Debmalya was strolling in the garden with his first wife Shubhalakshmi, a soft pink flower fell from a tree and brushed past the queen's hand. The queen shrieked and fainted. The worried king ordered for all the good doctors of the city to attend on her. They found the queen's skin was so delicate that the soft pink flower had managed to badly hurt her hand. They advised that she stayed in the bed for a few days. Another tragedy took place that night when the king was relaxing in one of the balconies of his palace with his second wife Chandravati. The cool breeze carried the fragrance from the flowers in the garden to them as the moon bathed the balcony with its beams. It was the perfect romantic night when the queen began to scream. She shouted, "I can't bear the moonbeams on my skin. It is burning me." The puzzled king had to draw the curtains to keep the moon out. The physicians were called. They advised that she applied sandalwood paste all over and rested. Mrinalini, the king's third wife, was the most beautiful of the three. One day, the king wished to see her. As she was walking from her room to the king's, she suddenly burst into cries and fainted. The physicians were called and they found that her hands were covered in blisters. When she regained her senses, she told them that the sound of rice being pounded that came from the kitchens was unbearable for her. "Now tell me, king, who amongst the three queens was the most sensitive?" Betaal asked. The king spoke slowly. It has to be the third queen. All of the three queens were no doubt delicate, but for Shubhalakshmi and Chandravati, the flower and the moon had directly touched their skin. For Mrinalini, however, she was hurt by just the sound of rice being pounded. She is the most delicate of them all. Betaal said, "You are right," and he flew back to the tree. The next story Betaal told Vikramaditya was about a beautiful daughter of a merchant. The name of the story is Merchant's Daughter and Thief. Once upon a time, there lived a rich merchant. He had a daughter. Her name was Chanchala. Though Chanchala was beautiful and intelligent, she was also very fickle-minded. Her father tried his best to change her habit, but he failed. Disappointed, he decided to get her married and sent her away. A handsome groom was chosen for her, and she left her home to live with her husband. Her husband, who was a merchant, often had to go on business trips, so he was away from his home most of the time. One day, her father sent a messenger to find out how his daughter was doing in her new home. When the messenger arrived, Chanchala's husband was not at home. Chanchala welcomed the messenger and served him food and wine. She had fallen in love with the man. The messenger too seemed to like her very much. They began to have an affair. As they passed, as days passed, the messenger grew jealous of her husband. He wanted to live with her. Chanchala feared that all hell would break loose if her husband found out about the affair. She thought of a plan. Chanchala bought some poison and mixed it with some fruit juice. She then gave the fruit juice to her lover. Not suspecting her, he drank the juice and soon died of the poison. Clever Chanchala dragged the body to a dark corner and hid it there. When her husband returned, he did not notice the body in the house. When they were having dinner, she began to scream, "Help! Help! Murder! Murder!" The neighbors dashed into their house and found the dead messenger. They informed the guards who captured the husband and produced him before the king. Murder in that kingdom was punishable by death. When they were dragging him to the gallows, a thief approached the king and bowed, "I am a humble thief, your majesty. On the night of the murder, I was hiding inside the house waiting for an opportunity to steal things. I saw that not this man, but his wife mixed poison in fruit juice and gave it to the messenger who died because of it. I beg you to please release this man as he is innocent." The king released the husband and put Chanchala to death instead. Betaal paused. "Tell me, who do you think was responsible for the misfortune?" Vikramaditya answered, "Chanchala's father. The merchant was the only one responsible for the misfortune. Had he told Chanchala's husband of his daughter's bad habit, he would have been more cautious and would have never left his wife alone." Betaal was smiling. The king had been right. He said, "Here I go again," and he flew back to the peepal tree. Hello children,